Hello there everyone and welcome to the part 2 of our lesson in attraction. In the first video, we've talked about the need for belongingness and affiliation as well as some factors that lead to attraction. In this video, we're going to talk about theories on attraction and predicting the end of a relationship. Now, these theories try to explain how attraction happens, and we are going to talk about three theories today, starting with the social exchange theory, which is the idea that we utilize a minimax strategy whereby we seek to maximize our rewards all while minimizing our costs. In terms of relationships, those that have less cost and more rewards will be favored, last long, and be more fulfilling. Rewards in relationships include having someone to console us during difficult times, companionship, the experience of love, and having a committed sexual partner for a romantic relationship. Costs, on the other hand, include experience of conflict, having to compromise, and needing to sacrifice for another. The second theory is the equity theory that was proposed by Wallster in 1978. This consists of four propositions. First, it states that individuals will try to maximize outcomes such that rewards win out over punishment. This is similar to the social exchange theory. However, the second proposition includes that groups will evolve systems for equity, apportioning rewards and punishments among members, and members will be expected to adhere these systems. Those who are equitable to others will be rewarded, while those who are not will be punished. The third proposition is that individuals in inequitable relationships will experience distress proportional to the inequity they are experiencing. Fourth is that those in inequitable relationships will seek to eliminate this distress by resorting equity and will work harder to achieve the greater the distress they experience. The goal is for all participants to feel that they are receiving equal relative gains from the relationship. Now, according to Hatfield and Tropman in 1981, if an individual feels that the ratio between benefits and costs are disproportionately in favor of another person, he or she may feel ripped off or unbenefited and experience distress. So what can be done about this? The author states there are only two ways that people can set things right. They can re-establish actual equity or psychological equity. In the first case, they can inaugurate real changes in their relationships. For example, the under-benefited may well ask for more out of their relationship, or the over-benefited partner may offer to try to give more. In the latter case, couples may find it hard to change their behaviors than to change their minds, so they prefer to close their eyes and to reassure themselves that really everything is in perfect order. The third theory is Robert Sternberg's triangular theory of love. He said that love is composed of three main parts, which includes intimacy, commitment, and passion. First, intimacy is the emotional component and involves how much we like, we feel close to, and are connected to another person. It grows steadily at first, slows down, and then levels off. Features of this version of love includes holding the person in high regard, sharing personal affect with them, and giving them emotional support in times of need. The second component is commitment. And commitment is the cognitive component and occurs when you decide you truly love the person. Now, you decide to make a long-term commitment to them, as you might expect, is almost non-existent when a relationship begins and is the last to develop usually. If a relationship fails, commitment would show a pattern of declining over time and eventually returns to zero. Third is passion. Now, passion represents the motivational component of love and is the first of the three to develop. It involves attraction, romance, and sex if a relationship now and sex and if a relationship ends, passion can fall to negative levels as the person copes with the loss. Now, this results in 8 subtypes of love, which explains differences in the types of love we express. For instance, the love we feel for our significant other will be different than the love we feel for our neighbors or co-workers, and reflect different aspects of the component of intimacy, commitment, and passion as seen in the table here. So for example, let us look at non-love, which has no intimacy, no commitment, and no passion, is different from, let's say, empty love that has no intimacy but has commitment and yet has no passion too. This is what we call a stagnant relationship. On the other hand, you can see that a fatuous relationship might not have intimacy but has commitment and passion, and these are relationships motivated by passion. On on the other hand, you also have companionate love, which has intimacy and passion, and commitment, but has not passion, but not passion. Now, relationships lacking passion, such as those between family members and close friends. Lastly, you have consummate love that has all the three components of intimacy, commitment, and passion. And for Sternberg, this is what he called as complete love. So, as bonus, because I love you guys, let us talk about jealousy. Now, jealousy is the dark side of love, and this is the dark side of love, or a negative emotional state arising due to a perceived threat to one's relationship. Take note of the word perceived here. The threat does not have to be real, or jealousy for jealousy to rear its ugly head. And what causes men and women to feel jealous varies. For women, a man's emotional infidelity leads her to fear him leaving and withdrawing his financial support for her offsprings, while sexual infidelity is of greater concern for men, as he may worry that the children he is supporting are not his own. Jealousy can also arise among siblings who are competing for their parents, for their parents' attention. Among competitive co-workers, especially if a highly desired position is needing to be filled. And among friends. Now, from an evolutionary perspective, jealousy is essential as it helps to preserve social bonds and motivate actions to keep important relationships stable and safe. However, it can also lead to aggression and mental health issues, as indicated by Dittman in 2015. Now, our last topic for this lesson is predicting the end of a relationship. And John Gottman used the metaphor of the four horsemen of the apocalypse from the New Testament to describe communication styles that can predict the end of a relationship. Though not conquest, war, hunger, or death, Gottman instead used the term criticism, contempt, defensiveness, and stonewalling. And we are to look at each of these four horsemen in this video. Now, the first is criticism, and it occurs when a person attacks their partner at their core character. or dismantling their whole being when criticized. An example might be calling them selfish and saying that they never think of you. Now, it differs from a complaint which is typically involving a specific issue. For instance, one night in March 2009, a particular wife was stuck at work until after 8 p.m. His husband or her husband was upset, and she did not call to let him know what was going on, and he have an arrangement to inform and they have an arrangement to inform one another about changing work schedules. Now, criticism can become pervasive, and when it does, it leads to the other far deadlier horseman or horsemen. It makes the victim feel assaulted, rejected, and hurt, and often causes the perpetrator and victim to fall into an escalating pattern where the first horseman reappears with greater and greater frequency and intensity, which eventually leads to number two, contempt. Now, the second horseman is contempt, which involves treating others with disrespect, mocking them, ridiculing them, and being sarcastic, calling names or mimicking them. The point is to make the target feel despised and worthless. Most importantly, contempt is the single greatest predictor of divorce. It must be eliminated at all costs if you want your relationship to last. As what my mother would always tell us, when respect is gone and contempt is here, the relationship is almost always gone too. The third horseman is defensiveness, and it is a response to criticism. When we feel unjustly accused, we have a tendency to make excuses and play the innocent victim to get our partner to back off. Now, the question is, does it work? Although it is perfectly understandable to defend yourself, if you're stressed out and feeling attacked, this approach will not have its desired effect. Defensiveness will only escalate the conflict if the critical spouse does not back down or apologize. This is because defensiveness is really a way of blaming your partner, and it won't allow for healthy conflict management. Lastly, we have stonewalling. Now, stonewalling is the last horseman, and it occurs when the listener withdraws from the interaction, shuts down, or stop responding to their partner. They may tune out, act busy, engage in distracting behavior, or turn away, and stonewalling is a response to contempt. It is a result of feeling physiologically flooded, and when we stonewall, we may not even be in a physiological state where we can discuss things rationally. Now, conflicts are unavoidable. Uh, and the good news is that each horseman has an antidote to stop it. How so? Now, to combat criticism, engage in gentle startup. Talk about your feelings using I statements and not you statements, and express what you need in a positive way. As the website, as Gottman's website demonstrates, instead of saying you always talk about yourself, you always talk about yourself, why are you always so selfish? Say, I'm feeling left out of our talk tonight and I need to vent. Can we please talk about my day too? To combat contempt, build a culture of appreciation and respect. Regularly express appreciation, gratitude, affection, and respect for your partner. The more positive you are, the less likely that contempt will be expressed. Instead of saying you forgot to load the dishwasher again, and telling that the person is incredibly selfish, complete with your eyes rolling up, say, I understand that you've been busy lately, but Could you please remember to load the dishwasher when I work late? And tell the person that you would appreciate the person, that you would appreciate the behavior. Now, to combat defensiveness, take responsibility. You can do this for just part of the conflict. A defensive comment might be, "It's not my fault that we're going to be late. It's your fault since you always get dressed at the last second." Instead, say, "I don't like being late. But you're right. We don't always have to leave so early. I can be a little more flexible." Now, to combat stonewalling, engage in physiological self-soothing. Arguing increases our heart rate, releases stress hormones, and activates our flight or fight response. By taking a short break, we can calm ourselves down and return to the discussion in a respectful and rational way. Failing to take a break could lead to stonewalling and bottling up your emotions, or exploding like a volcano at your partner, or both. So, when you take a break, it should last at least 20 minutes, because it will take that long before your body physiologically calms down, according to Gottman. Now, it's crucial that during this time you avoid thoughts of righteous indignation, such as, "I don't have to take this anymore," and innocent victimhood, such as, why is he always picking on me?" What you can do is spend your time doing something soothing and distracting, like listening to music, reading, or exercising. It doesn't really matter what you do as long as it helps you to calm down. It's easy to hold grudge. Let's face it. Whatever is the cause, it's likely left us feeling angry, confused, and sad. We may even be bitter, not only to the person who slighted us, but extend this to others who had nothing to do with the situation. We might have we might have trouble focusing on the present as we dwell on the past and feel like life lacks meaning and purpose. Now, as much as I want to end here, I don't want to, because attraction and love is such a beautiful topic. Let's not end on a negative note. Let's talk about forgiveness too. Now, according to Mayo Clinic, forgiveness includes letting go of resentment and any thoughts we might have about getting revenge on someone for past wrongdoings. Now, what are the benefits of forgiving others? First, our mental health will be better. We will experience less anxiety and stress, and we may even experience fewer symptoms of depression. Our heart will be healthier, we will feel less hostility, and our relationships overall will be healthier too. Now, it's easy to hold a grudge, as what we have mentioned earlier. However, but even if you are the type of person who holds grudges, we can learn to forgive. Now, the Mayo Clinic offers some useful steps to help us get there. First, we should recognize the value of forgiveness. Next, we should determine what needs healing and who should forgive and what for. Then, we should consider joining a support group or talk with a counselor. Fourth, we need to acknowledge our emotions, the harm they do to us, and how they affect our behaviors. Now, when we attempt to release, we then have to attempt to release them. Fifth, choose to forgive the person who offended you, leading to the final step of moving away from seeing ourselves as the victim and release the control and power the offending person and situation have had in your life. Now, I don't normally use means. Well, Actually, I use a lot of memes. But the point here is that I like this particular meme when it comes to when it comes to forgiving. I don't know if this character in Lion King really did say this, but the meme says, "Forgive not because they deserve forgiveness, but because you deserve peace." We have to also reframe the way we look at forgiveness. It actually is for your own benefit too. It's actually largely for your benefit. While yes, releasing grudges and forgiving someone means that you no longer have to bring up past issues, this also works for you as it will provide you with peace and with peace of mind and healthier and better mental health. Now, at times we still cannot forgive the person, diba? There are a lot of instances when we have to enter a process first. When we are so slighted that it's really difficult to forgive the person. Now, the Mayo Clinic recommends practicing empathy so that we can see the situation from their perspective. Praying if you believe in a God, reflecting on instances of when you offended another person and they forgave you, and be aware that forgiveness does not happen all at once but is a process. Now, this ends our lesson in attraction. Thank you for listening and have a great day.